or someone you love might be the one. Indiana Blood Center. It's about life.
Fourth down for Bloomington North. Jordan Enzinger to try a 28-yard field goal. And boy, this guy's got a leg. He hits the camera crane vertical. What is that? A scissor lift. He hits the scissor lift behind the goalpost, and Bloomington North is on the board 14-3.
All right, that's okay. That's a positive from that. Kind of stalled out a little bit on the 10-yard line there, and DeLoss and I were talking during the break that we were talking about what is happening with the Cougars as far as handling the football, and you know, the field isn't wet. It's not a very humid night, and we're looking at the thing close up a couple of times on some of these drops, and they are just not focusing on the football. They are taking their eyes off the football, either watching somebody come to hit them or whatever, but there's just that split second where they're taking the eye off the ball, and it's costing them.
Two big plays for that drive. First was the kickoff return by Brack Arnold almost to midfield, and then the catch by Kevin Clark that gave Bloomington North first and goal.
Let's look at that kick again. Look at this. Watch it here. There was a scissor lift. Oh, didn't quite see it there, but it was heading right for it. Nice kick, and nice positive for Coach Wellington, getting the Cougars on the board. Now let's see if the defense can stop this forward momentum of the offense of the Bulldogs.
Rick Wellington, a graduate of the University of Southern Colorado, which is now CSU Pueblo, and a university which has dropped its football program. But Wellington did some coaching in Colorado and is in his 5th season here at Bloomington North. Enzinger to kick off, and he hits a high short one. It's going to be taken again, just like on the first one, by Pat Lane. Pat Lane dragging a defender close to the 40-yard line, and Columbus North will have pretty good field position. The first two drives have resulted in touchdowns, and now the third time the offense comes onto the field. They'll start at their own 38.
Well, you've got, for the Bulldogs, 16 plays in a result of 2 scores. You're going to see a nice high kick here, and Lane just moves it right up the field, and he had an opportunity for a tackle there by DeQuincy Morris. Just didn't wrap the arms. But the Cougars did a pretty good job of containing him.
Kleinhen still there at tailback with Lucas Surface a little bit banged up. A.D. King was looking to throw, but gains quite a few yards running the ball instead and is close to midfield.
Well, this is what you don't want to see when you've got this many down. And Solomon Grimes, of course, you're going to hear his name all night. Solomon Grimes in on the tackle. When you've got that many down linemen and you've got a quarterback back to pass, you have got to keep him contained. And it didn't happen that time for the Cougars, and it results in a 2nd and short for the Bulldogs.
You see the offense with plays on laminated wristbands, able to work without a huddle. They send 3 receivers to the right side of the formation, including the fullback Chris Brown. To throw, though, to the left side, his pass is underthrown, intended for Pat Lane, but it'll be 3rd down and short. And that was not a well-thrown ball. You wonder if he was able to get a good grip on it. The field does not look wet, but the ball has been hard to hold several times tonight. Tim Bless in his 7th year as a head coach. He spent 2 years at Paoli. This is his 5th season at Columbus North, and the Bulldogs' win total has increased each of the first 4 years. Last year winning 8 ball games, right now 4-1 on the season. And a 3rd down and 1. More of a conventional offensive formation, but Kleinhen's hit in the backfield, able to get 2nd effort close to the 1st down chain.
Well, within tackle to tackle, you had a total of about 9 defenders for the Cougars really up close to that line, and it looks like it is going to be a 1st down for the Bulldogs, but still a nice job by the Cougars of keeping Kleinhen's contained and keeping him to 1 or 2 yards.
Good 2nd effort by Kleinhen's to spin out of early penetration and move to the 48-yard line, where it's 1st down and 10 for Columbus North. A.D. King with 2 receivers to the top of your screen. You'll give to Kleinhens again. This time Kleinhens has some room running to the right side and gets close to the Cougar 45.
Nice off-head tackle play, and this big offensive line for the Bulldogs just walling off the left side of that defense for the Cougars. And now you've got second and short. You got a timeout on the field, it looks like. You see it right here, just a nice handoff. And Kleinhens, basically what he's doing is just picking his holes, and when it's not, looks clogged up the gut, he has a tendency to just kind of misdirection or change direction and head to the outside where he's got some running room. It's going to be tough getting off tackle and going up the middle on this Cougar, just for the sake of that they've got a lot of bodies there. So you're going to be open outside, especially with this big line walling off the ends.
The smallest, if you call it that, offensive lineman for the Bulldogs, A.J. Williams, it checks in at 235 pounds. The other 4 down linemen are no less than 265. Second down, King gives to Kleinhens. Kleinhens has a first down, and he slipped and fell. He may have been trying to think about putting on a move and almost did a little hook slide to the 37. It's a first down for Columbus North.
Well, just about the time that I tell you it's going to be tough running up the middle, and he goes right off the big guard, number 77. That's Corey Bowman. 5'10", 210 pound, and junior. He's probably one of the smallest linemen.
First down for Columbus North. And only on offset eye, Chris Brown, the fullback, on the right side of the formation, along with 2 wide receivers. They'll run to the left side, and Kleinhens hit in the backfield and will lose quite a bit as he's spun down by Corey Bowman.
Right, and that's what I was going to say. The offensive lineman for Columbus was Alex Day, 5'11" and 270. That's a little bit better. And this one's Corey Bowman. He is on the defensive side of the ball for the Cougars. Does a nice job of holding on to Kleinhens and bringing him down. He is the guy that is about 210 pounds. Had him mixed up on the different side of the ball there.
Columbus North has scored on the first 2 times they've had their hands on the ball and have a 14-3 lead here at homecoming at Bloomington North. And King to throw a screen pass in and out of the hands of Kleinhens, and it'll be third and long, third and about 14 yards.
Well, I don't know if the Cougars meant to do what they did, but they had 2 guys rushing the quarterback, and 3 of the down linemen went with the other lineman out to the screen, and that's what busted that play up. And the Cougars have been somewhat impressive on this offensive drive by the Bulldogs.
The Bulldogs converted a third and long on their second drive, and that was a run by A.D. King that helped set up one of Orrin Kleinhens' 2 touchdown runs. This is third and 14 from the 42. 3 receivers to the right. They'll run a draw play to Kleinhens, and he has a big hole. Gets past the umpire and stretches to the 31, still short of a first down, but he now puts the Bulldogs in what may be 4 down territory. It'll be 4th and about 3.
You can thank Jordan Enzinger on keeping Kleinhens from getting to the first down marker. And this is what happens when you over pursue on that defensive line and you don't have anybody else back there. That is a defensive back, my friends, bringing down Kleinhens. Quincy Morris is there as well on the stop. And we've got 4th and short.
In fact, the 2 top tacklers coming in are Kevin Clark and Enzinger, both of which are the safeties. Yeah. Kevin Clark, strong safety. Jordan Enzinger, the free safety. So,
and folks, that's not a good thing.
That is not good. 4th down and 3 from the 31, from the near hash mark. King to Chris Brown to try to get to the outside in a hurry. Cannot do it. He's tackled behind the line of scrimmage by Solomon Grimes. And Bloomington North holds the Bulldogs on down.
Well, what you'd like to see is this 5'11" sophomore, a 185-pound sophomore. What you're hoping is that he has time to grow. And Solomon Grimes just does a great job of reading that play. It does not take the head fake at all. And Grimes doing a great job on defense for this Cougar ball club, and he's keeping them in it as the Cougars take over on downs to loss.
Well, the last time Bloomington North had the ball, they drove inside the 5, had to settle for a field goal, but they have some momentum, and just like we saw last week where an unbeaten team was playing a team without a victory, and the The 0-4 Seymour Owls gave quite a game to Bedford North Lawrence. Let's see if the Cougars can hang in here tonight. Stancomb running, finally gets rid of the ball, throws it away. It was thrown out of bounds decidedly, although there was a receiver there, Mike Morris, 190-pound senior, was in the area. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
Boy, the decisions of a mature quarterback right there. He could have run out of bounds. He could have tried to make something out of that, but he very wisely threw that ball out of bounds and didn't get caught for a loss. Nice job by the Cougars quarterback. Offense isn't looking too bad on this adjustment as far as the passing offense is concerned. The loss, they've had some bright spots, especially in that last series of downs.
When we saw in the pregame, a lot of the throws were rollouts by Stancomb, so part of that was a design run, but the last part was running out of desperation. Now they're going to try to run the ball. That was Kevin Clark, and Clark is hit way in the backfield. It'll be 3rd down and long, as several Bulldog defenders were there, including David Holt.
Well,
Christian McDonald.
And no matter how much you pass the ball, you've got to once in a while hand that ball off. You're going to see it right. It's just the penetration by this Bulldog ball club. You're going to see big number 60 there for Columbus North. Yeah, that's Kyle Nearing. Of course, we haven't called his name very much, but Kyle is a very, very impressive lineman, defensive end that he's playing, and he does a great job for this Bulldog defense.
Nearing now with 5 tackles for loss on the season. He also has 6 quarterback sacks. And 3rd and 15, there's a low snap that rolls back to the 15, and Stancomb prevents a turnover by falling on the ball, but that was not what Bloomington North wanted to do with their newfound momentum. It'll be 4th and a country mile.
Well, David Holt was just bearing down. 6 foot, 235-pound senior was bearing down on Stancomb, and Stancomb, you know, he did the right thing. They have had the toughest time with, you're going to see it right here as the ball just goes off to his left, and he just goes right down on it instead of trying to pick it up, because that would have been disastrous. And now we've got very, very tough punt and critical punt here for the Cougars.
Stephen Whited on pressure also for the Bulldogs. Inzinger kicks an end-over-end ball that's taken by Chris Girth in Cougar territory. Girth bounces off a couple defenders and will go down at the 33-yard line. So Columbus North with, again, excellent field position. That was the first punt of the game, with midway through the 2nd quarter. 2 touchdowns by Columbus North, a field goal for Bloomington North. 1 interception. And North recently turned the ball over on downs.
Now this is where Columbus North, starting in this kind of territory, has taken the ball and scored. Cougars doing a great job last time of stopping the Bulldog offense. Let's see what happens this time.
Kleinhens does not return to the offensive lineup. He's given a little bit of a breather as he also plays one of the outside linebackers. Option, King now becomes a lead blocker for Chris Brown, but Brown goes next to nowhere, running to the left side.
Well, that time, usually if you got 7 or 8 kids that are inside the tackles on defense, that option usually works pretty well. But what happened that time, they picked the wrong defense to run again. They only had 5 down linemen, and the Cougars were spread out and able to stop that option.
I'd like to thank the Bloomington North band for preparing for halftime as they have vacated their normal area. 2nd and 10 now for Columbus North from the near hash mark. Inside of 5.5 to play. Chris Brown again. Brown makes a couple of shifts and falls forward across the 30, and that'll bring up 3rd and 5 from the 28.
Cougar defense taking on just a little bit different shape. 5 down linemen, playing their linebackers off the ball just a little bit now, and seems to be somewhat effective against this Bulldog ball club.
Kleinhens comes back into the game. Tim Slayball, who is running a couple plays there, is a 190-pound senior. He steps off the field. Kleinhens joins Brown in the backfield at his traditional tailback spot. 3rd and 5 from the 28. That's Eric Notstein in motion from right to left. On 3rd down, Kleinhens will run left, cuts back, delivers a blow, goes down at the 24, and maybe a yard short of a 1st down.
We've been hearing his name a lot. Corey Bowman, 5'10", 210-pound down defensive lineman, doing a real good job of taking care of Kleinhans. And look at Kleinhans, how he just reads